Hey everybody, hopefully all of you are doing well. You're probably wondering why I'm doing a voiceover and talking on screen at the same time. Well, I had a video that was supposed to be one and it became too long, and so I wanted to break this information down in 3 parts so you could really get the point. This is part 2 where we're going to talk about how to multiply a recipe up. Are you still with me? Okay, let's move on to the potato salad. Now the potato salad, let's say in this case we're going to use a recipe, and we found a recipe that we really like, whether it's mine or anybody else's. Now earlier we said that 1 cup is going to equal a serving per person. So if this recipe that you found yields 5 cups, that means you need to round that recipe up by 6. So you're going to do 6 times that potato salad recipe. That way you'll have enough for 30 people to have up to a cup of potato salad. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at this mock recipe for potato salad. This is completely mock. Do not try to make this recipe, okay? Don't come back here talking about you tried to make it, all right? The recipe is going to yield 4 cups, and we're already saying that we're going to give 1 cup servings, or up to 1 cup of potato salad per person. So that means we're going to multiply this recipe times 8, which is going to equal 32 servings. If you did it times 7, of course it would give you 28 1 cup servings, which is not enough. So 8 is the good number. When you are multiplying a recipe up, you need to multiply each ingredient by that number. And that's where a lot of people get lost and they fail a recipe trying to multiply it up. So let's start with the potatoes. The potatoes, it says we need 2.5 pounds of potatoes, but we're multiplying the recipe up by 8. So 8 times 2.5 equals 20 pounds. Moving on to 3 tablespoons of celery. 8 times 3 tablespoons equals 24 tablespoons. Now here's where a conversion chart will help you. You need to convert that 24 tablespoons into cups. And that's going to equal out to 1.5 cups because there are 16 tablespoons in 1 cup. Moving on to the onions, we need 1/4 cup of diced onions, and that converts in decimals to 0.25. So we need 8 times 0.25 cups, and that's going to equal to 2 cups. For the green or red bell pepper, it's going to be exactly the same. The recipe says we need 1/2 cup of mayo, so that would be 8 times 0.5, and that's going to equal out to 4 cups. We need 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. That would be 8 times 3 tablespoons. That's going to equal 24 tablespoons. 24 tablespoons converted into cups will be 1.5 cups. The recipe calls for 1/3 cup of sweet relish, so we're going to go 8 times 0.3 cups, and that's going to equal to 2.4 cups, which actually is equal to a tad more than 2 1/3 cup. Okay, then we're going to move on to the spices. We need 3/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic, so that's going to be 8 times 0.75 teaspoons, which is going to equal out to 6 teaspoons. So as you can see, when you are handling certain recipes and you are multiplying the recipe up, there is some work that you have to put in. A conversion chart would be necessary for most of us, and the ability to convert fractions into decimals so that we can get the proper measurement at the end so that the recipe can turn out right. Now, I will tell you right now, I would not recommend you do this for baking recipes or soups, stews, and sauces and gravies. Those we can talk about at a later time in another video. This is one of those recipes that's very forgiving. So if you want to put some more mayonnaise in, you can. If you want to put less onions in, you can. For most recipes where you're making things like this, potato salad and such, you can multiply them up a little higher so you can get a bigger yield. Thanks so much for joining me. You know I appreciate it. Be sure and check out the 3rd video of this series where we discuss how to read nutrition facts labels on store-bought and prepared food items.